Finally, I am Hank Philippi Ryan, your co-host for this session. I'm the USA Today bestselling author of 13 thrillers, including the standalone suspense, The First to Lie, which is now a nominee for the Anthony Award for Best Novel of the Year. So I'm very happy about that, and thank you for that. So let me introduce our fabulous authors for you tonight. First, we have CJ Box, Chuck Box. And Chuck is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of 28 novels, including the Joe Pickett series. He is the executive producer for Big Sky on ABC. I must say my husband and I are addicted to that show. And Joe Pickett on Spectrum Originals. Both TV series are based on his books. And he lives on his ranch in Wyoming. And is that where you are now, Chuck?
It is. Yep.
Okay, fantastic.
I've got an office on the top of my barn. That's where I'm at.
As well it should be. As well it should be. Mary Kubica is the New York Times bestselling author of 7 suspense novels. A former high school history teacher, Mary lives outside of Chicago with her husband and 2 children. Her new book is Local Woman Missing, and the publication date is Tuesday. So welcome, Mary. Are you in an office on top of your barn?
Not on top of my barn, no.
Welcome tonight, and congratulations on all the buzz about your new book.
Thanks.
Mia P. Manansala is a writer and certified book coach from Chicago who uses humor and murder to explore aspects of the Filipino diaspora, queerness, and her millennial love for pop culture. Her debut novel, Arsenic and Adobo, came out May 4th, 2021, from Berkeley Penguin Random House, and the buzz about that book is enormous. Congratulations, Mia.
Thanks so much,
on your debut. It's just been great. And Peter Swanson is the author of 7 novels, including The Kind Worth Killing and his most recent Every Value Break. He lives in Massachusetts, where he is always at work on his next novel. Welcome, Peter. So glad you could be here tonight. So welcome to you all tonight. What a fantastic lineup we have for you now. So we will start, as always, with this quick game of 20 questions. You see we have our fabulous backroom cards, which we will shuffle, sort of, and see what we should ask you. And we will start in the order that I see you on the screen here. So that means we'll start with Mary Kubica. Mary, where did you grow up?
Chicago suburbs.
You know this. You know where you
grew up.
Not
a hard one.
So do you live now near where you grew up?
No, I'm actually in a different suburb. I grew up in the northwest suburbs, and I'm in the southwest suburbs now.
So you've always stayed sort of close to home?
I have, yes.
Wonderful. Chuck Box, random question from the cards here. What is your favorite TV show right now?
The Bureau.
No, it is not.
No, Big Sky. I can't miss it. Every Tuesday, ABC.
What's it? People are saying
one more episode left.
I know how well I know. Ronald is the worst guy I've ever seen. You should look at the chat. People saying Big Sky, Big Sky, Big Sky. In the breakout rooms, we want to hear all about that. Congratulations on a mad success.
Thank you.
Mia, what is the best thing that happened to you today?
Thing that happened to me. I got to meet with a friend in person for the first time since this all started. She is writing an article for me for the Sisters in Crime Guppies newsletter. So I actually got to hug a friend for the first time in over a year. So that was very exciting for me.
That is momentous. I was going to say, tell us all about that, but we'll all have a chance to do that. Congratulations, and also on the article too. That's quite great. Peter, what is your favorite place to work?
I mean, always in my office. I'm not a coffee shop worker. I tried that for a while, doing the whole coffee shop thing, and I'm just way too distracted by what other people are up to at other tables. So it's my office here. This is a new office for me because I just moved, but it's any room where I can close the door.
So you need quiet.
I do. I need quiet, and I like some music. I usually listen to sort of soundtrack music or sort of instrumental stuff in the background. And yeah, I need my own room with a door that shuts, not necessarily locked, but shut.
So you have privacy.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, what fictional, we're all about geography with you randomly. What fictional place would you like to live in?
Oh, fictional place? This is
Or,
tricky.
or a non-fictional place. I mean, fiction is hard because there's always some bad thing like a witch or something.
Right. Oh my gosh. I have never thought about this before. I don't know.
How about a non-fictional place? Would you love to spend the summer where?
I would love to go to Greece. So I would love to go to Greece. Yes.
Because
I would just love to explore, take in the architecture, the Mediterranean Sea, just the beauty of everything that it has to offer.
yeah, that would be so peaceful and beautiful. Okay, a tough one, Chuck. Is your desk messy or tidy?
It's pretty tidy. It really is. I've always kind of been bothered by messy offices, and so many of my editors and publishing people, when I go and visit them, I'm very disappointed in them on how messy they are.
Well, there is a mindset for messy and a mindset for tidy, and I think those things don't ever meet. It's just you think one way or you think another way. Mia, what book made you want to be a writer?
Ooh. Like off the top of my head, like I've always wanted to write since I was a kid. The two series that immediately jumped to mind would be Encyclopedia Brown and The Babysitter's Club.
And why do you think?
Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah. I mean, that was, like my first mystery book. Like I watched all the shows because I grew up in a multi-generational household. So my grandparents, I was watching shows like Murder, She Wrote, Matlock, Perry Mason, the coolest 6-year-old on the block. But for reading, Encyclopedia Brown was for me that I picked up. And I very specifically remember there was one called Encyclopedia Brown Takes the Cake, which had recipes in it, which like, oh, look at that. Now I'm a culinary cozy writer. I wonder if that had an effect.
That is great. That's a wonderful story. Thank
Had
you.
the first Asian character I saw in literature. So that was a big thing for me.
And you remember that?
I remember that.
And what did you think when that happened?
It was amazing because at that time, again, this is like the early 90s, this was an Asian character who was cool. She was pretty, she was fashionable, she was bad at math. And I was like, I want to be like, not bad at math, but everything else. I wanted to be her.
Well, congratulations on that. Thank you succeeded. And this is funny because randomly, the next question for you, Peter, is what was your favorite book as a child?
Oh, my favorite book. Well, I loved Roald Dahl's books, and I bring him up because he sort of bridged me from children's books to adult books. So I'm gonna say I love like James and the Giant Peach. I love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But then he wrote a book called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which was kind of for tweens, and it had a couple really dark stories in them.
And you've stayed twisted and dark ever since.
I have. I've never changed.
So speaking of reading, Peter, as you said, we do want to know what you all are reading, because now it's so much more difficult to discover a new book now that we're all sitting in our homes. So Mary, we ask all the authors to pick a book to suggest, to recommend to all the backroomers here tonight. So Mary, what book are you recommending?
So I am recommending A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. And this book, it's so thrilling, so riveting. I could not put it down, but it's kind of part legal thriller, part domestic suspense. And just quick story. A man, a lawyer, he reaches out to a former friend from law school because he's being held by the police. He's about to be arrested for his wife's murder. And he needs this former friend of his to help him out. And so she does, not totally willingly, but she finds herself kind of mixed up in this domestic drama in this suburban community. It's set in New York. And it's so scandalous, and there's so many secrets, and it's so juicy and fascinating. And I recommend it for anyone that loves a good domestic thriller.
And so that's everybody, right? Thank you. Chuck, what about you?
I just read a book. Actually, it was a galley, so it's not out yet. Yeah, the Ridgeline by Michael Punk. He's the guy who wrote The Revenant, that later became the movie, and it's a historical novel on basically Fort Phil Kearny in Wyoming, and the first time in Western history where the Native American, the Indians won. They chased the cavalry away, and the army had to withdraw because they got whipped. And I usually don't like novelized versions of history, but I thought this was really good. I'd recommend it.
Amazing. That sounds amazing. And for all you people attending, all of you attending, we'll put a list of all these books in the chat when we're finished with our list, and you can see the graphics that our wonderful Sarah has made about each book as well. Mia, what are you recommending?
So I'm going to cheat and actually recommend two. So
Oh,
this one, Killer Content, is a debut cozy mystery that came out earlier this year. It's kind of like a fish out of water, small Southern girl moves to Williamsburg, New York, gets caught up in a murder mystery. And then this one comes out June 1st. This is Dead Girls by Nekesa Offia. Takes place in 1920s Harlem. It's featuring a young Black woman. All she wants to do is dance, but after an altercation with the police, she gets blackmailed into helping them catch a serial killer who's targeting young Black women like herself. Both amazing authors, both debuts. So please, if you can, check them out and support them.
I see Drew-Ann Love, the Queen of Cozies, applauding you about this. That's great. Good choices. Thank you, Mia. And Peter, what are you recommending?
I chose Moonflower Murders by Anthony Horowitz. People might know Anthony Horowitz from, he wrote Foyle's War. He's done a lot of television, but he's writing a lot of mystery novels now. And what's great about this book, it's kind of a meta murder mystery where a book editor has to solve a crime by reading a book by one of her clients. He's managed to pull this off in 2 books. So what happens in this book is, as you're reading along, you have a mystery, and then there's an entire another book in the middle of it, which is sort of a golden age crime novel. So what's great about this book is you get 2 crime novels in one. It might be great. It's great for me. I know for some people, they're kind of like, oh, I'm into this book, and suddenly I have to start another book. But it's terrific and very, very, very clever.
He is such a genius. His books are so much fun to read. You're getting a lot of people in the chat as well about him. I don't know how he does it. I love how different all of these books are that you all are recommending this evening. It's really, really incredible to hear. I can see all of our TBR files are growing by leaps and bounds at this point. Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed that taste of what a backroom session is like. But more fun comes immediately afterward. That's when the audience is broken up into 4 breakout rooms, and each author in turn visits each room. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because those relaxed face-to-face conversations between best-selling authors and readers are the hallmark of backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded, because what's said in the back room stays in the back room.